But now, it's time for old versus new. Italy versus Sweden. kuxir97 taking on OSM. The former played the majority of his Big One series a long time ago, whereas OSM has had a packed and quite successful 2018, at least until this tournament got started. OSM was able to score more goals than Scrub in his series lost to him, whereas Kux was thoroughly outgunned. It was Kux, though, who had a closer series in his 3-0 loss to Fairy Peak. Remember, so far neither of these guys have been able to pick up any wins, so they could both really use one today. There can only be one winner though, and let's head down to the field right now to find out who it's going to be. It's time for the old versus the new, as both have been struggling so far in the league, but only one of them will remain winless after this best of 5 is completed. Kux has been the one to cause Fairy and Scrub more problems so far than OSM, but that doesn't necessarily mean that he is the favourite here, as OSM's playstyle might be exactly what Kux doesn't want to face. Good start though for the Italian, as he does exactly what he wants to do here, just popping the ball into the backboard as many times as possible, and then eventually scoring an open net. OSM certainly won't have played people like Kuxir too many times, although they have matched up and ranked a few times, I believe. And I know those games are close. Nicely done here by OSM. Early challenge. Kux is trying to back him up into his net again, and this time OSM decides to switch things up and rush in. It's a little bit fortunate for OSM that the ball didn't bounce high into the wall. This could have been an easy goal for Kux if it did. Not the best kickoff by OSM. Kux is looking so good though, side to side, dishes it in for 2-1. Very aggressive play by Kux. I don't know if OSM expected him to just go straight for the backboard there, as most of the time that leads to a 50-50. OSM goes sideways after winning possession on the kickoff. They look to take it in field with the bounce dribble. This is something that Kux historically has struggled with, is shooting-based plays that are really good at picking their spots. You know, back in the day when it was Kux, Scrub, Marky, Duda, the top 3, Marky had a good matchup versus Kux because he just did awkward shots. He didn't go for the brute force power shots that Scrub was more used to making, and that Kux is more used to saving. So if OSM can find that finesse, that placement, then maybe he'll be able to find a weakness, a weak spot in Kux's defense. This time he goes for placement and doesn't quite have the right accuracy. I wonder if Kux is ready for these reverse challenges that OSM loves to do as well. This could be something that throws off Kux a little bit. OSM looking for this low boost flick, and he will put it in the top corner. As Kux is also backed off with the low boost. He tried to go for the delayed hit on the ball with his early dodge on his own play, and ended up almost missing. Here's a pinch shot by Kux. OSM does get in the way. What a save by OSM. That was on target and fast. Kux is really starting to find some more consistency with these. He's got to be careful here though. OSM is in his sights, but so is the goal. And OSM does get undone by a very, very delayed dodge here by Kux. Mid-air flick there. That's not easy to do. Kux is looking very, very good with his creativity so far. Certainly showing up pretty big for these matches. He's always been more of a series player than a single game player, dropping out of 12 Titans in both of the past few years. Year 1 to Scrub. Oh my goodness, Kux has got to be careful here. Another pinch shot lining up though. Yeah, like I was saying, he did lose 12 Titans Year 1 to the eventual winner Scrub, and lost 12 Titans Year 2 to the eventual winner Fairy Peak. Nice save there by Scrub. OSM trying to land on him there. Good dodge shot by Kux. Looks good for distance as well. And OSM has definitely had his timing thrown off a little bit by Kux's awkward stabs that he goes for at the ball he doesn't always go as fast as possible, because sometimes fast is exactly what your opponent is expecting. Aerial shot by OSM, and this is the type of shot that's going to get him goals here. You can't be saving these reactively. Kux was in no position to challenge. Very close game here in game 1. Both players looking very, very threatening in offense. And it's no surprise then that both players are also looking very, very awkward in defense when the quality of shots are this good. That's probably OSM's worst flick yet, and it's still put Kux on the back foot. Kux is trying to work his way out of defense here, playing his boost very, very carefully again. There's the fake challenge, reverse challenge combination that OSM loves to do. Kuxir doesn't get too caught out by it. And a very nice transition from defense to offense. Kux stays grounded though. He doesn't want to commit too hard in this position. He's not able to get around the clear of OSM there for a proper interception. Kux has to back up and turn around here. The fake jump takes him to the wrong side of the ball. Now what's he got in store for OSM? More centers. And OSM is in a bit of an awkward spot. There was a chance there for Kux to go for the demo, but he preferred the boost steal. Will he regret that decision? Looks like for the time being he will not. And I don't think he will after he buries this cross-map open net as well. OSM's probably wondering, how did he do that? How did he just take the ball and put it in an open net across the field? So difficult whenever he tries. Solid play though by Kuxir. He's really rising to the occasion here. He's had to play against the best that Europe has got to offer in recent times, and he's looked like a good match for just about everybody so far, taking scrub to game 5 and having 3 very close losses to Fairy Peak. And that was a Fairy Peak who's been playing ones all year long. OSM looking for the demo here. Well played, shadowing his own shot so that he can make sure it makes it to its final destination. That wasn't the best shot ever, but he got in front of it and he knew exactly what Kux was going to do to try and stop it. 34 seconds left. Kuxir again getting that block style kickoff to the far side. Ceiling shot for Kux. One touch, make it 2. Puts it in. OSM was close, but not close enough. And that's the best ceiling shot I've seen from Kux in a while. He could pull the trigger at any moment here. He's just waiting for OSM to make his move so that he can make his and counter. 2-goal lead now for Kux, and the ball is in a very safe location. This is exactly what he wants. Well, I'll tell you what, that's not the best follow-up he's ever made. OSM has a free shot here. He can't get enough power on it though. Kux kind of gets away with a misplay there. That could have been very bad news when he decided to go for the pinch clear and failed. OSM though has not been able to convert. That will be game 1 to Kux. OSM almost 0-3 now in the league if he doesn't get his act together here. Plenty matches to follow, but he'll want to win this one before thinking about them. Huge shot total for OSM in game 1 there. Kuxir able to save the vast majority of them. The goals that OSM was scoring were picture perfect flicks, top corner aerial shots. He's being forced to play at his absolute best by the playstyle that Kux has chosen to use against him. He's just backing off and saving anything except the very best unstoppable shots. Boost advantage for Kux. He wants to try and use it as best as he can. He's grabbed more boost just to take it away from OSM. Maybe a bit too heavy of a touch there though by Kux. He was trying to get the ball working into OSM's half as fast as possible. And the same thing again. That is how you make the most of a boost advantage. If you know your opponent's boost starved, get the ball moving towards their net as fast as you can. The faster you go, the less boost they're going to have when you arrive at your shot. And you try and get it into their net. Must say I'm very impressed with how Kux is playing. He's been known to be a slow starter on occasion for best of 5s, best of 7s, but he had a great start against Scrub earlier in the tournament, and now a great start against OSM. I think the Cyclone might be here to stay with confident plays like this, which is a worrying sign for the entire Rocket League community. If Kux has found a new car that he likes playing, who knows how many people are going to follow suit. Kux has got OSM in his sights here. Now he has to be a little bit more creative with his thinking. What a save that was by OSM, my goodness. And he's forced Kuxir to shoot on his own net with the bump. 2-1 OSM. Was this straight up a Kuxir own goal? I think there was interference. There definitely was. Kuxir was trying to put that wide left, but it took a touch off OSM. Still had a blue trail on the way in though, which is not something you want to see if you're in the blue team and the ball's firing at the blue goal. OSM is going to want to steal that big boost, but he's not going to be able to back off or get Kuxir to back down, even if he does. Kuxir knows better than to give OSM a full pitch dribble. Catch from OSM on the bouncing ball. Not able to surprise Kuxir this time. He's going for another late dodge. This time OSM is in the way. So actually a really good save there by OSM. The fact that he's kept that out and safe. Very impressive. And that is about as good as you can get for an air dribble. Top corner is the final destination. Kux is saying, alright, come on, let's see what you got. Oh, never. Oh, you've got that? Never mind. I probably should have done something about that. 2-goal lead for OSM. He was able to turn around the series against Scrubkilla after initially going significantly down in game 1. And then he wasn't able to keep that up. The open net miss at the end of game 3 really ruined that comeback for him. Kuxir so far hasn't had to rely on many misplays. He's forcing them all himself. But OSM is looking better and better in goal the longer this series goes. Now he's got Kux where he wants him. Backed off into his own net. Speedy dribbles again by OSM, and he's going to loop back around and easily put this one in for 4-1. Kux getting a taste of his own medicine here. He's wanting more time. He just desperately wants to drive around the edge of his box there, pick up some small boost pads, but OSM's not interested in letting that happen. It might be 5-1 here with a kickoff goal. Indeed it will. OSM puts it in, and with half the game gone, he's established a very impressive lead here over Kuxir. To be careful though against Kux. He's good at pacing himself throughout these series. He doesn't usually go all in too soon. He's quite good at knowing when it's time to start being aggressive. Half flip onto the boost by Kux. OSM still looking for shots to the near post. Whoa, what was this? I think he just caught this mid-air. Definitely multiple touches on this flick. And you know, we've seen Kux do that on purpose a few times. Fairy did it on purpose a couple times as well. Not sure that one was on purpose. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I think he might have just fluked that. But it still counts. 6-1 now for OSM. Might not be Kuxir's game. Great speed there by OSM, picking the perfect time to go up in the air when he knew there was no way that Kux could get it past him. Now what has Kux got in planned here? He's going down low. Look at the underdunk from Kux. Faking the air dribble into the crossbar. He's also the threat of the double touch. And Kuxir just switches it up, goes underneath. Perfect block, 4-goal game. 1 minute 52 on the clock now. OSM needs to try and keep Kuxir back long enough that he can take control of the ball and then just waste time. He doesn't even need goals right now at this moment. He just needs to waste time. This is not what he wants. He doesn't want Kux in these awkward positions where he always seems to know better than anybody else what to do with the ball. This is more what OSM wants. He's just going to bully Kux out the net for 7-2. And Kux just gave up on this one. You can see the frustration. Another shot that's not going to make it by itself, but it will if you trip up or demo your opponent on the way to the goal. Still not over for Kuxir, but Like I said in one of his matches against Scrub, he's not someone to make ridiculous 4, 5, 6 goal comebacks too often. And this is, or at least not quickly, it's becoming a necessity with how badly this game has gone. That whiff is going to seal it surely. 6 goals for OSM. Kuxir was close to getting a touch on this one, but not close enough. He wanted to clear his lines. He knew OSM was lurking in the box for more. Well, it's turned into quite a comfortable lead for OSM in the end. And this is looking actually quite a lot like Kux's series that he played against Scrub, with Game 1 going very well, and then Game 2 going pretty disastrously. At least he's able to get 1 goal back. OSM with 1 whiff, and I believe a second one as well. There was a chance that he could have hit that ball as it bounced down off his crossbar. But hold on, with 56 seconds left, this might not be all over. Half flip from OSM, though, is exactly the remedy to this current situation. And he's being as annoying as possible here. Doesn't want to give Kux any free time with the ball. Kux is just waiting for OSM to stop making touches so that he can take an open net shot. There, finally, it will happen. But is the lead too great? 4 goals, 38 seconds. At his current rate of scoring, it is just not quite good enough for Kux. He might need a kickoff goal at some point to keep this dream comeback alive. I just don't know if that's likely to happen. OSM is wasting an awful lot of time here. Hold on though, Kux had half a chance there with the aerial shot. Looks like OSM will be holding on to this lead though. A brief scare there as Kux made it to 8-4 from 8-2. But like we were saying earlier, Kux just doesn't score these goals fast enough. That's another 25 seconds gone from the 38 that he had available. And with only 13 left, 3 goals needed, it will be a double kickoff goal, 0-second combo if he's ever going to do this. And that will seal it. 1-all. OSM gets another win in the tournament. Kuxir picks up his, I think that's now his 7th loss. And it's really anybody's game here as they look to get their first win on the board in the league. So far, a story of goalkeepers. Kux dominating on the goal line in Game 1. OSM really showing up and saving an awful lot more of Kux's shots in Game 2, forcing Kux into awkward positions. And it's going to continue to be a story of goalkeepers. Great play by Kux there. Not just getting the save, but setting up the counter-attack while OSM is stealing boosts in the corner. OSM was definitely a little bit out of position there. Should be backing off into a more defensive posture. And that's definitely one of those goals that could annoy OSM, because there is no need for that. He could have contested Kux's shot if he decided to go for a more safe location. Kux now needs to be careful. OSM is looking for the demo. Kux escapes it, but you can see the problem that that's caused OSM, or caused Kuxir rather. He's forced so far out of position by that demo attempt that eventually the shot he does take is very, very savable. It was a nice pop by Kux, but a bit too risky with only 10 boosts in the tank. Very huge that OSM has converted another open net though. It's something that he has had problems with at high level competition. Ground pinch attempt coming in. Kuxir was there to cover the entire goal for shots at that speed. Another early dodge by Kux. He wants to catch that one at a surprising angle, but if OSM is not committing to a challenge, I don't know if that's ever going to work. Look at that by Kux. He's deliberately letting the ball go half past him so he can get more of a redirect touch on it rather than a stopping touch on it. Kux backs off for space. He's very much dead behind the ball here, creeping up on OSM, backflips it into the crossbar again. But OSM's able to recover in time. Kux wants to keep it above the bar. He doesn't want OSM to have any chance of contesting these mid boosts or these corner boost pickups, and it looks like the boost advantage might pay off. Never mind. Kux also leaving the corner boost there as it spawned for OSM to take, and this is risky now. Kux investing so much boost in a backboard hit. Will he be able to keep up this pressure? No, fake jump. OSM will fire straight back. He's got an open net shot. He's missed it. Kuxir repaid OSM the favor. He left the net open in favor of boost, but OSM misses the open net, and that's not the first time I've said that this tournament. A consistent problem for him. When the pressure is on, when he feels like he really should be scoring, he doesn't always deliver, and then he does deliver on much more mechanically and positionally difficult shots, such as this. Look at that by OSM. Miss open net, and then perfectly flick the ball into the top corner. That is really impressive stuff by OSM. Now, if he can only convert the easy shots, he might be able to get a series win today. Kux with another possession play. I would not mind to see a long shot here from Kux. OSM's posturing is very far up the field. I don't expect it to result in a goal, but he could definitely get OSM in an awkward spot. Instead, he's just opted for a very difficult to execute flick maneuver and hit the crossbar a little bit too hard. That's very all in by Kux. I do feel like a boomer to the backboard might have fared better with OSM being as close as he was. What's Kux got in store for us this time? He's trailing by a goal. Another early jump. OSM should be saving that most of the time, and he will. Kux can't get OSM off his goal line. OSM is just waiting for Kux to make a move. He's realized that Kux is going for placement rather than power on most of these touches, and if you do have fast reactions, which OSM does, maybe he can keep reacting to these well-placed shots and keep them out. At some point, Kux is going to have to go for a boomer to keep OSM guessing, to keep him honest in these exchanges. And I think we might be about to see said boomer. There's the attempt. Kux kind of goes underneath it this time. OSM trying to set up the ceiling shot. The ball wasn't in the right position. A nice challenge by Kux, but OSM ready for it this time, not going all in to the offensive corner. Just one goal in it here. Both players vying for position more than anything else. And Kux is definitely the best of these two players at preserving his boost total. OSM using a lot more. Kux always seems to have more boost when we switch to his perspective. He's got OSM backed off. There is the boomer. This time from distance while OSM is in the goal. He needs to try and find the time to do that when OSM is not in the goal. Pinch shot. Looks to be on target. OSM is there though. And OSM's going to try one of his own. Does get somewhat of a pinch, but goes a little bit too high. Respect there from OSM, sort of paying homage to Kux there. But the flick this time will be good. Kuxir goes for something which got him scored on earlier. This exact same move. The difference this time is that when he's missing this, it probably isn't bouncing off the crossbar and going towards his net. It's a bit of a safer angle to come from. Smart moves by Kux, and he might get rewarded with a kickoff goal. I believe he can force the OSM to own goal, and there it is. And just like that, Kux turns around game 3, and he's in pole position in the final 45 seconds. OSM though might be able to do exactly the same right back, and there, yes he will. They're trading kickoff goals now. 40 seconds left, all tied up. Whoever wins this game has 2 chances at taking the series. Oh, OSM's trying to be cheeky, but it's backfired. The delayed approach. He's hoping that Kux gets 1 touch, but Kux gets several. And make that 3 kickoff goals. We go from 3-2 to 5-4 in a matter of seconds. And finally, we might be able to see some midfield play. It's going to be a heavily favored play if OSM can control this like he should. Kux is sneaking into the corner for boost. He isn't going to be allowed to do that though. And oh my goodness, OSM with a huge mind game. Kux wanted the boost in the corner. He decided it would be wise to stay in goal. But he did not see the mind game coming. The fake pop. OSM's just gone underneath Kuxir to tie the game in game 3. We are completely tied up. The only thing that separates these two players is Kuxir has the ball, and OSM is going to remedy that momentarily. 10 seconds left. Is it going to be Kuxir with the last chance? He's looking for a demo, but OSM is very good at avoiding these. Kux has to be careful not to go too all in for that. And we will have overtime in game 3. Huge game here. With how close this has been, whoever wins this is going to be heavy favorite to take the series. OSM has been known to be tilted in close series if it doesn't end well for him. If this ends with an OSM misplay, he might just tilt out of the series in game 4. Kuxir definitely has better comeback potential. But it's going to be OSM who forces the issue. With 26 seconds gone in overtime, he flicks it good over the top of Kux, who's shadowing close. And now we get to see how good is that legendary comeback potential. Kux needs to dig deep now. He's staring down the barrel of a 3rd league play loss. OSM looking also to pick up his first win. Game 4, Kuxir versus OSM. Both these guys have had just about as tough a start to league play as they could have ever wished for. It definitely gets easier from here on paper, not necessarily in reality. Can Kuxir go back to that game 1 speed? I was very impressed with his play in game 1. He's tried a ground pinch to start things off, and OSM will surely capitalize on the miss. I think this was more opportunistic than anything else. Kuxir for a moment thought that he might be able to get a goal there from a position that he was probably just recovering from most of the time. But OSM has just won 2 games in a row and scored early in game 4. He's in a great position now to get his first league play win. And Kuxir probably would have dove at that ball if he thought it was on target. He knows it wasn't. OSM scares him away from picking up possession with another demo attempt. He's been very dominant with his timing of demo plays so far this tournament. And he's not falling for any of Kuxir's early dodge maneuvers. Look for another mind game here is OSM, and he's going to slot it bottom corner. Kuxir being sent for an absolute loop on this one. He had no idea what OSM had planned and accidentally left the bottom right corner open. Great pickup there by OSM, even to spot the corner as an option. Kuxir usually defending all angles very well, but the ball chase this time for OSM will be outplayed. Great reaction time by Kuxir on that. Would have been very easy to get dunked on here. As soon as he sees OSM committing to the challenge, he goes for the pop with the backflip. And OSM being one of the guys who turns around, he fakes challenges really late. That makes it harder to know when his real challenges are in fact coming in. Pre-jump save for Kux. OSM has passed it to him in the midfield, but Kux has no boost. I don't think he's got a chance to put this one in directly. He's going to have to go for a more creative route. Actually, both players missing that ball. I believe they were both going for blocks. 1 minute 30 seconds into the game. Kux has to be really careful giving OSM this kind of space. He's definitely the best flicker that Kux has faced so far this tournament. Oh, it's so close for Kux, but OSM hangs on. Very back and forth game so far. Both players taking shots at each other. And OSM tags Kux there after taking a shot and failing to score. It's a good bailout there by OSM. He knew that there was nothing really going once his first touch off the wall wasn't what it needed to be, so he just backs off into the corner, starts all over again, and he will succeed this time. And that's sometimes why it's okay to back off into your own half. Doesn't matter if you're losing all that territory, you can get it back pretty quickly in 1v1. 2-goal game yet again. Kux is really in a bad spot here. He doesn't seem to have a good answer for OSM's ground plays, and his own offensive maneuvers have been kind of sussed out by OSM, who's not diving in as much and taking himself out of the game. Kux forced into the air. OSM trips him on the landing, and he's really starting to frustrate Kux now, who just wants a chance to take a shot on net every once in a while. OSM is doing a really good job dribbling the ball around the field, using the clock to his advantage. Mind game floor pinch by Kuxir. He's got an open net rebound, but OSM is there at the last second. That should have been a goal actually for Kux. And again, OSM profits by not diving in. He is playing this so patiently. It's actually Kux who needs to make the playstyle change, because what he's doing right now has been sussed out by OSM. It is time for more proactive moves for Kux, but has he got enough time left on the clock? A 3-goal lead against OSM, or for OSM, it's going to be very, very difficult to fight back from. Kux again wants to react to what OSM is doing. He wants OSM to make the first move. This time it works with a ridiculous aerial shot. But at any one of these times, Kux could just pull the trigger. He could just go for a top corner volley. Top corner half volley. He could just chip it into the backboard. All these things are valid options, and I think they're working a good amount of the time, even against OSM's defense. But Kux is dead set on playing this one the way he's always played it. He feels like his playstyle can get the job done. We'll have to wait and see. He's got 1 minute and 25 seconds to show us if it really can. But OSM is doing a really good job here. This is valuable time completely wasted. Valuable for Kux, disposable for OSM. And he's just driving circles around Kux right now. He has to back off though. There was no way for him to continue that play. And there's the proactive move, but Kux misses the target. Should have been a 1-goal game, but Kuxir can't find the target when he needs it most. OSM let off the hook there. He was not in a good position. But it looks like Kux is going to get another chance. Oh my goodness, he just can't squeeze it in. OSM is being very dodgy at the end of the game here, but he still gets the goals when the opportunities arise. And Kux just wasn't quite quick enough. He didn't pick the fastest path into the center of the box. He's going for a blocking kickoff here, gets it. But this is far from easy. Kuxir goes off the wall. He's looking for the double touch. Can't quite find it. It's becoming more and more difficult for Kux. He goes for another bump play, but OSM always privy to those. Always ready to avoid the incoming opponent. And it was a great playstyle adaptation by OSM that won in this series, really. Not diving in is pretty good against Kux if you have the reaction time of OSM. He will pick up his first league play win. Kux still searching for his. 4 more games to play though, so it is far from over. Today belongs to OSM, the new generation. Definitely showing up huge in the Mannfield 5K. OSM takes down Kux and secures his 6th place position in the league. He'll be on the hunt for more wins now, surely thinking that some of his hardest series are out of the way. The same is true for Kux as well though, with Fairy and Scrub already in his rearview mirror, but he'll need to start winning pretty soon or he'll have a long gauntlet run ahead of him in the final week of competition. OSM will be the first of these two to return to the field as he takes on Flakes on day 13 of the tournament. Following that, we have Fairy versus Ocelon on day 14, and then another series for OSM as he takes on Ixo on day 15. Don't worry though, to all you Ixo fans, you don't have to wait until then to see the only other undefeated player apart from Fairy Peak play, because he has a chance to keep up the pressure on the Frenchman at the top of the table on day 12. But to do so, he'll have to beat his countryman Bluey, who took a huge hit to his momentum in his most recent match and will be looking to get his league play back on track. So, as always, thank you for watching today's episode of the Mannfield Night 5K. See you tomorrow for day 12. It's the All England matchup, Ixo taking on Bluey. Game 4, Kuxir versus OSM. Both these guys have had just about as tough a start to league play as they could have ever wished for. It definitely gets easier from here on paper, not necessarily in reality. Can Kuxir go back to that game 1 speed? I was very impressed with his play in game 1. He's tried a ground pinch to start things off, and OSM will surely capitalize on the miss. I think this was more opportunistic than anything else. Kuxir for a moment thought that he might be able to get a goal there from a position that he was probably just recovering from most of the time. But OSM has just won 2 games in a row and scored early in game 4. He's in a great position now to get his first league play win. Kuxir probably would have dove at that ball if he thought it was on target. He knows it wasn't. OSM scares him away from picking up possession with another demo attempt. He's been very dominant with his timing of demo plays so far this tournament. And he's not falling for any of Kuxir's early dodge maneuvers. Look for another mind game here as OSM, and he's going to slot it bottom corner. Kuxir being sent for an absolute loop on this one. He had no idea what OSM had planned and accidentally left the bottom right corner open. Great pickup there by OSM, even to spot the corner as an option. Kuxir usually defending all angles very well, but the ball chase this time for OSM will be outplayed. Great reaction time by Kuxir on that. Would have been very easy to get dunked on here. As soon as he sees OSM committing to the challenge, he goes for the pop with the backflip. And OSM being one of the guys who turns around, he fakes challenges really, really late. That makes it harder to know when his real challenges are in fact coming in. Pre-jump save for Kux. OSM has passed it to him in the midfield, but Kux has no boost. I don't think he's got a chance to put this one in directly. He's going to have to go for a more creative route. Actually, both players missing that ball. I believe they were both going for blocks. 1 minute 30 seconds into the game. Kux has to be really careful giving OSM this kind of space. He's definitely the best flicker that Kux has faced so far this tournament. Oh, it's so close for Kux, but OSM hangs on. Very back and forth game so far. Both players taking shots at each other. And OSM tags Kux there after taking a shot and failing to score. It's a good bailout there by OSM. He knew that there was nothing really going once his first touch off the wall wasn't what it needed to be, so he just backs off into the corner, starts all over again, and he will succeed this time. And that's sometimes why it's okay to back off into your own half. Doesn't matter if you're losing all that territory, you can get it back pretty quickly in 1v1. 2-goal game yet again. Kux is really in a bad spot here. He doesn't seem to have a good answer for OSM's ground plays, and his own offensive maneuvers have been kind of sussed out by OSM, who's not diving in as much and taking himself out of the game. Kux forced into the air. OSM trips him on the landing, and he's really starting to frustrate Kux now, who just wants a chance to take a shot on net every once in a while. But OSM is doing a really good job dribbling the ball around the field, using the clock to his advantage. Mind game floor pinch by Kuxir. He's got an open net rebound, but OSM is there at the last second. That should have been a goal actually for Kux. Again, OSM profits by not diving in. He is playing this so patiently. It's actually Kux who needs to make the playstyle change, because what he's doing right now has been sussed out by OSM. It is time for more proactive moves for Kux, but has he got enough time left on the clock? A 3-goal lead against OSM, or for OSM, it's going to be very, very difficult to fight back from. Kux again wants to react to what OSM is doing. He wants OSM to make the first move. This time it works with a ridiculous aerial shot. But at any one of these times, Kux could just pull the trigger. He could just go for a top corner volley, top corner half volley. He could just chip it into the backboard. All these things are valid options, and I think they're working a good amount of the time, even against OSM's defense. But Kux is dead set on playing this one the way he's always played it. He feels like his playstyle can get the job done. We'll have to wait and see. He's got 1 minute and 25 seconds to show us if it really can. But OSM is doing a really good job here. This is valuable time completely wasted. Valuable for Kux, disposable for OSM. And he's just driving circles around Kux right now. He has to back off though. There was no way for him to continue that play. And there's the proactive move, but Kux misses the target. Should have been a 1-goal game, but Kuxir can't find the target when he needs it most. OSM let off the hook there. He was not in a good position. But it looks like Kux is going to get another chance. Oh my goodness, he just can't squeeze it in. OSM is being very dodgy at the end of the game here, but he still gets the goals when the opportunities arise. Kux just wasn't quite quick enough. He didn't pick the fastest path into the center of the box. He's going for a blocking kickoff here, gets it. But this is far from easy. Kuxir goes off the wall. He's looking for the double touch. Can't quite find it. It's becoming more and more difficult for Kux. He goes for another bump play, but OSM always privy to those. Always ready to avoid the incoming opponent. And it was a great playstyle adaptation by OSM that won in this series, really. Not diving in is pretty good against Kux if you have the reaction time of OSM. He will pick up his first league play win. Kux still searching for his. 4 more games to play though, so it is far from over. Today belongs to OSM, the new generation. Definitely showing up huge in the Mannfield 5K.